Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing 2023. 3 points for some of us, not all of us, obviously, but great to be back for this year's edition of It's a Football Thing. Thanks, everybody, for joining. This evening's edition will contain a recap of the key fixtures that occurred over the past couple of days and just break them down and really understand what worked well, what were the key headlines, and really just take it from there. Scott, I'll go to you first, my man. How you doing?
Yeah, doing well, man. This Monday night time slot, fresh start for the year. Obviously got to some A-League football with Robbie and some of the boys yesterday. If you haven't seen the match reaction to the MacArthur Bulls Wanderers game, check that out. If you're a Wanderers fan, you'll love it. MacArthur, maybe go do something else.
It was MacArthur didn't play, did they, Scott?
Mate, tell you what, we really didn't play. But look, besides that, had a nice day today. Ready to go, boys. Pumped.
Beautiful, beautiful. And great job on that video, by the way. I was spewing I wasn't there, but as a Bulls fan, it was kind of a silver lining I wasn't there because it might have been a pretty poor post-match reaction that would have been for myself. But Robbie, the happy Wanderer, the happy Red Devil, all smiles. How are you, legend?
Mate, I'm great. What can I say? We left to 2022 with you guys straight into 2023. A great night, New Year's Eve. Like I said, an hour later into the morning, United got massive 3 points. Obviously, I'll go into that shortly. And then, obviously another good day at the domestic league in our little geological derby yesterday, 4-0. That was a very good game. But you know what? It's always good to get together with the boys. Obviously, seeing a few. Borcho was there, Emad was there, Antonio was there. It was always good. It's definitely a football thing, mate, for the new year.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And RJ, you're looking a bit red, mate.
You're looking a bit red. Well, let me give you the story. So those that know, so my last 24 hours has contained an all-day affair at a Sydney Harbour boat cruise for a wedding, which was pretty awesome. A few hours later, I get up to watch the mighty Forest almost take down the cheating Chelsea. Then I go to Botany this morning, all day out fishing, which was absolutely incredible. So everything apart from football has been incredible. But we're here to talk football. Who cares about what I do outside of football? Let's get stuck in.
100%. You clearly don't spend your time buying sunscreen. Let's get right into it, boys. Obviously, some big talking points, some big results. I want to start with my team because Arsenal are 7 points clear. And this is really going to link in quite well with the other things we'll discuss, particularly around big teams, big points gone missing. But it was much more comfortable than I expected it to be against Brighton. I really thought it was going to be a complete scrap, a really tight affair. But maybe we were just cool, calm, collected. We scored so quickly, which always helps. And then the attacking brilliance. Nketiah doing a great job. Saka, Martinelli, Erdegaard. I can't fault this team at the moment. And all we need to do is keep dodging some injuries, keep playing the way we're playing. And mate, we're right in this title race. Or we are right in it. If you can't say it 7 points clear, when can you say it? So, Robbie, I know you were shocked by the result.
Yeah, shocked in how many goals, I think, to be honest. I definitely said I definitely picked you guys to win, and a very good performance. I watched the majority of that game live, and then I caught up the rest of it in the morning. But again, I tweeted out after that game, it's 7 points. You guys have been so consistent now. We can't keep saying every week, people have been like, yeah, but they'll lose the next game. Wait till they play the big boys. They've beat big boys. The only team they've lost against again is us, which is good on our behalf. But you guys have done really, really good. You're playing very good football. You're scoring goals. I wouldn't say your defense is on lock because you guys, even if it's a big score, you guys are still not keeping a lot of clean sheets. But you're winning games. But 7 points in front of City at this time of the year now, we must be getting pretty close to halfway now. You guys have something to defend and go for now. Honestly, if all your players aren't G'd up and trying to win every game for the title now, there's something wrong.
RJ, Arsenal, your title favourites at this point?
To me, we're not even halfway of the season. It's so dangerous to talk about title favourites. You're playing well. You deserve to be on the top of the ladder. But again, ask someone, who won the January 1st Premier League? Nobody remembers that. You could be 10 points clear. Like, with all due respect, Arsenal deserve to be where they are. They're playing some great football.
We've been the best team in the league so far.
They have been. But against Brighton, you say comfortable. You scored a couple of goals right at the start of the game, or right at the start of each half, rather. And then Brighton pulled a pretty late comeback. If that third goal goes in, who knows? They might sneak a last gasp draw. So I'm not sure how comfortable it was. You saw out the win. That's credit too. But Rob's on point, I think, with the defence not being perfect at this stage. But all signs are looking good for the Gooners at the moment.
I think that's been a theme of the Premier League, to be honest, this season. The defence and a lot of teams not keeping up. Is it that the defending's getting poorer or the attacking quality is getting better? I would go with the latter. A couple of comments from the live chat before we move on. We got Tom here saying, I know it's still early and City have a likely chance of winning, but Arsenal are his clear favourites. Felix is a must. Mate, I would love Felix, but the money they're asking for, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. I think it was $6 million loan fee.
It's gone up. It's $21 million package now. So,
mate, go stick it. You don't want the player anyway. You're being ridiculous. Mate, I'd rather just keep going without him than pay that for a 6-month loan. It's not even a full season. Chris, hate to say it, but Arsenal are favourites. Let's see what happens at January is going to be decisive. Absolutely decisive. We've got Geordie here. Justin, Happy New Year. At least some of us started with 3 points. Absolutely. We couldn't all do it. No IFT hat tricks. But let's move on to that. RJ. Perfect banner for your team. Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. You're not in the relegation race yet, but you might be there soon. Big teams, big points dropped. I'd argue whether Chelsea are a big team now that Roman's gone, but let's assume you are at this point. Unbelievable against the poorest team in the league. What happened?
Well, it was a tale of two halves. I watched the game in totality, as you do, at early hours of the morning. Some of us watch it live no matter what. Don't sleep through their alarms. They make sure they get up and watch their teams play. 2 hours sleep or not.
On your
putting that to the side. Well, you got to do it. Chelsea quite comfortable in the first half, took a deserved lead. Forest offered nothing. The XG was nothing, basically. Then the second half, flip of a switch. Forest came out attacking, absolutely on fire. And the goal they scored was a really nice finish from Serge Aurier. From a set piece, I thought we did enough to clear it. But then from the second ball is where we lost out. And again, really tidy finish from Serge Aurier. We just struggled from that point onward to really just get ourselves back into it. And we had a couple of chances from the 80th minute onwards. I thought Hakim Ziyech, when he came on, and Conor Gallagher and Mateo Kovacic, they were giving us a bit of something different. But Ziyech had this killer ball that went in, but both Aubameyang and Pulisic both got in each other's way, and ultimately we didn't get the job done. So look, 2 points dropped, massive point for Forest. But if I look at the stats, we haven't won opening day for quite in the new year for some time now. So this is just really a continuation of that poor form. But more broadly speaking, 6 points out of 21 in the Premier League is really damning statistics. So it's a concern for sure.
I told you when he was signed, I don't think Potter is standing for next season. I think he's going to get sacked at the end of the year. I look at your team, and I actually did watch this one in the entirety, not live, but I look at your team. They look uninspired for me, RJ. And there's talk about you guys signing defenders and things like that. I think the last thing you need to worry about is your defense. Your attack, to me,
we've signed two attackers. That Fofana we've signed, the Ivorian,
but how
and
much
obviously
is he going to play? I mean, you've got Ziyech, right? Ziyech was banging at the World Cup. He was really good. You had Kovacic, who was brilliant at the World Cup, had a good cup. Neither of these guys start. What does Ziyech have to do to get?
Yeah, but this was fatigue factor as well. They had to balance load. Like Mateo Kovacic played 90 minutes each game throughout the World Cup and is already injury prone. So you got to follow the data behind not just overworking him, because no Reece James, no N'Golo Kante. You take out the two best players in any team, I'm pretty sure you're going to get a substandard performance. Not justifying it. It's absolutely poor. But Graham Potter as a whole, the first, I can't remember how many games, we were unbeaten. Everybody's talking about Potter ball and how magical it is. And now you had the second half of Potter ball and everybody's saying, oh, Potter out. So I don't know. It's a little bit too early for me, man.
Robbie?
Yeah, look, I don't know what to think of Chelsea at the moment, because every week I pick them because I'm waiting for them to click. But it's one win in 7 games now. And I think there's obviously going to be that slight bit of pressure. Obviously, it's January window now. I do think you guys are going to spend again. Yeah. We'll see. That'll be another big question mark. Will they spend fixtures again, or is it just going to whoever they want just to try and get in and do a quick fix like Chelsea normally do and turns into trophies? But he must be feeling a little bit of pressure. Like I said, the attack is not really firing. Forrest had that chance off the crossbar that could have made it, full drop points in that game. So I don't know what it is with Chelsea. Reece James, I know, is a massive loss, but if their whole attack and whole game plan is around their left back, I think there's something else missing there. And, they have spent big already in the window. Obviously got a few, centre backs in, Kukurea come in, a few other boys have come in. So I just don't know what the problem is at the moment, because I do rate Potter
midfield, Robbie. It's midfield, mate. It's been neglected for years.
Everyone's been talking about Zakaria. He's like the best thing since sliced bread.
He's a loan signing, man. He's played one game for us.
I'm not saying you, but so many people are like, here's the answer to our problems, And then what do you think of the whole Kante situation? I heard now they're going to be re-signing.
They're going to give him a contract.
I think that's crazy at his age and with his injury
terms,
record.
Apparently, yeah.
I think I still think that. When was the last time he played? That's the only thing. I really think that you guys should be. Obviously, you're in for Fernandez. It looks like that's close, which is
signing.
A good signing. But he's got to hit the Premier League running to really get in there, because the gap is increasing every single week.
Absolutely. Look, we know that Chelsea are going to spend. You just get those vibes from Bowley. He's going to go out. He'll want to make a statement. So let's just wait and see what happens with them. But I know, RJ, you'd be a very happy man with Fernandez, wouldn't you, buddy?
He'd be a top signing, but it's not a Band-Aid solution. There's no one signing that's going to dramatically transfer our team. And that's why I keep telling people offline and online, Bowley's investment with Potter, his backroom staff, the data analytics team, the technical director, recruitment director, you don't buy all of these players and just people and expect instant success. Because if you think that, you're delusional. So
fair shout. Look, speaking of delusional, there are Spurs fans out there who actually think they're a good team. Again, just quietly, spare a thought for our Spurs friends. Marty, Alex, they were done by Aston Villa at home this morning. I didn't catch this game. I don't know if either of you caught it, boys. Either of you catch this?
Not live, no.
Yeah, seen the highlights. That's about it.
Talk to me about the goals, Robbie.
Yeah, look, in the highlights, it looked like the first half anyway. There was it was pretty even game kind of thing. I think Villa's first goal was their first shot on target, to be fair, and there was a shocking mistake from Lloris that parried it out back into the field of play. They squared it out, and it was a really nice finish. The second one was a really good finish. They put the nail in the coffin, but again, like, their big boys just weren't firing. I think they did have a few injuries. I know Kulusevski maybe was out. I don't know what the reason was behind that, but Spurs at home with the team that they still had, for me, should be getting a result against Villa. So that's a massive drop points for me. I caught it last week. I said I would have liked a nice good Ebony and a handout to us, because they've got a game in hand and we've jumped them now. So results-wise, like I said, they made our run even bigger.
Even hasn't Son hit a real dip? I haven't heard his name in a while. And another player here, Lloris. For me, you boys know my opinion on Lloris. I think he's so overrated. It's not funny. It can't say penalties. We know that. I want to talk, though, about your other friends, RJ, the other team in blue, Super Frank's team. Look up smash and grab in a dictionary. You will see that result. Everton, 1 shot on target, 1 goal, but that's all it took to rock the reigning champion.
What a goal it was, Damari Gray.
Beautiful goal.
What a goal. What a goal, 100%.
And not only that, the stats say 1 shot, but they actually had a couple of decent chances right near the end that they didn't convert to shots on target, that they could have legitimately been a proper smash and grab. And we've seen this before in the Premier League, where a superstar team wins every day on paper, but comes up against a desperate bunch who have no chance and end up snagging a result. But also with City in particular, we all know that they dominate everybody. The game plan is quite simple for the inferior teams, quote unquote. And it's really the onus is on them to break them down. And for the most part, Everton did a pretty good job in keeping nice and structured and disciplined. So it was a very solid point for Everton for sure.
RJ, this one's for you, mate. I think Matty's just
very quickly. Yeah, for me, I would say in for now. Like, we've invested too much right now to just flick it all out the window. So to me, it's definitely an in.
Trust the process, boys, and you might be like Arsenal. Let's look at Newcastle. Another one, you have to chuck them in this big teams, big points dropped
100%.
because they've been sitting pretty in the top 4 for ages. They'd be disappointed to not take all 3 at home against Leeds. They were the dominant team. They had nearly 60% of the possession, 9 shots off target, 5 shots on target. But Leeds were quite resilient, I thought. And they have had a little bit more defensive resilience lately. Jesse Marsh, I think, is doing an okay job considering his personnel. So disappointing for Newcastle. They won't be stoked about that. Boys, were there any other results that you wanted to highlight from this week?
Obviously, I'll go United, obviously.
Of course. Sorry, Robbie.
No, look, what can I say? You guys knew how much I was stressing about this game as a banana skin, proving our previous records against the Wolves. But, mate, this game now, after the results passed, what didn't feel like 3 points, it feels like 5 or 6 points that we got. That was such an important win. And, look, I'm going to give credit to my boys because I feel like it's ages, in a chunk that we've been in this kind of good form. I think it's nearly 5 or 6 clean sheets on the bounce now. Marcus Rashford had a little incident. Ten Hag management has just been on point again so far. It's just a little sleep in, puts him on the bench. Bang, halftime comes, puts him straight in. Within 15 minutes, he scored the winning goal in the end. It was 2-0, which would have definitely put the nail in the coffin. Ruled off for a handball. In my opinion, it was a handball, but I do think there's going to be some kind of rule change here because he shot the keeper, deflected point blank touched his hand and went in. It was always going to go in if it was off his knee or anything else. I still think they've got to kind of change the ruling for that because there was always going to be a goal. And if that did end up being a draw or drop points, I think it would have been a disaster because we were the better team in the end. They didn't have a lot of chances. They're probably 2 all game. I think that's 2 times they had to touch the ball and they were big saves, especially in the 94th minute.
Yeah.
It was a big clutch save at the end. But like I said, I was just relieved to win that game. But like I said, obviously after the match week, after Newcastle Spurs obviously dropping points, even Chelsea, that was a massive win for us. And, yeah, we're finally officially in the top 4 with the same games played as City and Arsenal and Chelsea. And you know what? For what we've been up and down, we're 4 points behind City now. And we all know, for me, that's a massive accomplishment compared to seasons past where it's been double digits, even 15 points by this stage of the season. So at the moment, I'm not, jumping out of my skin, but I'm very happy with the boys and how Ten Hag's playing and everything.
I have to give Ten Hag plenty of credit. He's got a good thing happening over there. I've kind of got that little bit of fear back of Manchester United now. Yeah, I know you beat us last time we played, but in general, you're starting to look a little bit more scary now, and I'm certainly not looking forward to playing you again. So Ten Hag, I thought he handled Rashford brilliantly. I thought it was good that he put Rashford on because he was in my FPL team and I needed the goal. But, yeah, all things considered, you would be quite happy.
One other quick shout-out for the boys I want to say as well. The best thing I like about it is the versatility at the moment. We've, again, another week with a makeshift back 4. Malacia's come in playing left back. Luke Shaw, left centre back, has been flawless against Varane. And obviously we've got World Cup winner Lissandra to come back in as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka hasn't played a game nearly the whole season. I thought he was out he still could be out the way out, but out the door. But in January, but he's been there the last 2-3 games now, and again, amazing. He's really stepped up, and that could be the little bit of competition and depth for Dalot. He should be back. He's back in training now, but it's good to see that Dalot has been playing 90 minutes literally since the start of the season to the World Cup. Obviously picked up the injury. It's good to see that Wan-Bissaka's come back in and stepped up. So the boys have really been spreading, the jobs around, putting their hand up, saying, "Yeah, I'll play there to cover someone," and delivering on the day, which is good.
RJ, are you starting to get worried about United?
They're a building team. They've had a manager that's come in, worked the preseason, and you can see the fruits of the labours are starting to show now. And I think what Rob highlighted was the culture element, the way he's handled the Ronaldo saga, the way he's handled Rashford's little minor misdemeanor. But I thought in terms of the game itself, United were definitely the better team. But it's about these teams not being clinical. Costa should be doing a lot better with his chance when Neves just ran right through United when he opened them up, and Varane got turned, and Costa really should have been doing better. De Gea came up super trumps right at the end with that save. It just goes to show you when the team like Wolves and a few others that are struggling to find the goals, when they don't put away those gilt-edged chances, it can really come back to bite them. But United, like you said, Rob, the versatility has been really top-notch. And that tackle from Wan-Bissaka, that block, that was incredible. That was such an important block because they would have taken the lead. So, yeah, huge moments, and United in red hot form.
I wouldn't say take the lead. Ganacho, I don't know if you've seen that. Ganacho had a clear-cut chance. He should
the one where Jose Sarr saved it. Yeah, top save as well.
Again, for me, getting the result there was just massive.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's move on because there are some other teams that need some massive results. They're our friends down here at the bottom of the table. The relegation race is heating up. It looked a little bit more clear-cut earlier in the season. I know we're not at halfway yet. We're almost there. But when you look at this, there's not much between bottom Southampton and Leicester in 13th. It's only five points. That's nothing. Looking at these teams, Southampton, Wolves, Forest, and then the other teams you can see in the picture, just quickly, we won't go too deep on this. What shocks you most about what you can see right now, RJ?
West Ham being that far down. Like, I knew they'll struggle. I know they're an organised team. They're based on structure and power and physicality, but they have got a couple of decent attacking players, definitely. I think I know I've been banging on the Rodgers drum in terms of a manager sacking, but Moyes has got to be right up there with that team at the moment. So I'm definitely shocked looking at them.
Yeah, I think he could be gone. I think he could be gone soon as well. You'd almost just say Leicester, West Ham, just do a manager swap. Waive the compensation. They're both on the way out. Give Moyes a chance with Leicester. Give Rodgers a chance at West Ham. Maybe they can bring something fresh because they're both good managers. It's not that either of these guys aren't good managers. They've got plenty of experience, plenty of skill. I just think it's all gone a bit stale. They've both been at their clubs a while. So West Ham were the ones that shocked me most as well, RJ. So we'll jump over to you, Robbie.
Yeah, look, from my obviously pre-season predictions, I had two of the bottom three sitting there. Southampton and Forest were my drop. The other one that shocked me, to be honest, as well, is Bournemouth, because I had them as bottom. I had them with no chance. Barely made any signings in the first window. Yep. And I just thought they were going to be a yo-yo team up and straight down. And look, I said, it's very close, as you said, from Leicester down. But still, man, they've had some pretty decent performances here and there during the season. West Ham is the obvious one. Even Everton, man, I know they escaped relegation last year, but I really thought they would have been that little bit better again. You know, they're really sitting on that borderline again. So, yeah, look, as RJ says, it's not halfway yet, and there's still a lot to be done, and it's so close. One game can change, nearly from the bottom to 15th or 14th.
All right, let's keep moving. For those watching, make sure you smash the like button. Help us beat that little algorithm. If you're watching this back on replay, have a look at this picture. Leave a comment below. Let us know what shocks you most. Are Southampton, Wolves, and Forest the three teams going down, or will they climb out of there and send someone else down to the championship? Let's make some early predictions. Put yourself on the line. Speaking of predictions, gentlemen, we are going to make some Premier League predictions. Now, we do have the new format for the show this week. Obviously, we're live tonight on a Monday. And normally when the football's as it is, we'll do our prediction stream on a Thursday night pre-recorded. But we've got some FA Cup action this weekend. So on Thursday night, you'll get a video about the FA Cup action and a little bit of a debate around the FA Cup. Is it important? Is it something your club shouldn't worry about? So keep an eye for that on Thursday. But we're doing Premier League predictions right here, right now. Brentford, Liverpool tomorrow. Quick fire predictions. RJ, kick it off.
Is it Brentford Community Stadium?
Is that Brentford?
Mate, I reckon I'm going to go bold here. Lock me in for a 1-1 for the Bees. 1-1, I'll say.
Wow, no. Look, Liverpool, even though they got super lucky against Leicester, that poor bugger with the 2 own goals, I think they'll beat Brentford. I'm going Liverpool 2-1. Robbie?
With RJ's prediction is bold, mine's Terry, because I agree with him. I'm going to go 1-1.
Love that, boys. Oh, such word work. We're poets on this podcast. Arsenal, Newcastle, God, you could do a whole stream on this because this is going to be an absolute cracker. But we are going to keep it as a quick fire prediction. I've got to say that we'll beat them. I've got to back my team because I've not seen anything to make me doubt us. And Newcastle coming off that disappointing result, all things considered, 2-1 to the Arsenal. Rob?
I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. And just quickly, I didn't say that Tony's out. That is a huge loss. I didn't know that. But I'll keep the prediction for now, but that's a massive loss.
All right, RJ?
Yeah, I'll pick Arsenal. They're just in too good form at the moment. Newcastle will do their best, but I think 2-1 to the Gunners.
Beautiful. Let's stick with you, RJ. Everton hosting Brighton.
Yeah, tough game. Buoyed by the result, I think it was huge for them. Brighton going to be really licking their wounds after the Arsenal humbling. I do think Brighton will take this one. I think it'll be 2-1 in the end, unfortunately.
I'm going 2-1 Brighton as well.
Hat-trick, 2-1 Brighton.
Hey, there we go. And Lexac in the house. Evening. Gakpo going to flop. Let's see. I know Liverpool are hoping he doesn't. Next one, Leicester City hosting Fulham. It's a double game week for Fulham. So make sure you get Mitrovic into your FPL teams. I think they'll beat Leicester. I'm going with 1-0 to Fulham. What about you, Rob?
Close game, this one. I'm going to go 2-1. I like Fulham. I've been back in them all season. I think they'll just get over the edge, over the line.
RJ?
Yeah, same with me. 2-1 Fulham.
A little bit of confusion around Ivan Toney. We'll have to check if he's in or out. I'm sure we can figure that out at some point. Manchester United hosting Bournemouth. Robbie, kick us off, mate.
I'll be disappointed, boys, if we don't have a comfortable win. And I don't want to jinx us, but for me, I'm going 2 or 3-0 in this one. I'd like to see it done and dusted in the first half with some rotation.
RJ?
Yeah, I'll say 2-0 to United.
I'm going with 3-0 to Manchester United. I think they'll dominate. Southampton hosting Nottingham Forest. This is a big one in the relegation context. I'm going in with a 1-1 draw, though. I can't split them. They're both poor. Robbie?
1-1 draw. Agreeing a lot tonight.
2-1 to Saints.
All right, yeah, some saintly intervention. RJ, let's stick with you. Leeds hosting West Ham.
Yeah, I like Leeds for this one, to be honest with you. I know they've had a struggle recently, but I think Leeds will take this one 2-1 in the end.
Robbie?
Leeds 3-1.
I'm going for board draw. I think 0-0 in this. They'll cancel each other out. Aston Villa hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's go back to you, Robbie.
Oh, wow. The 2 new managers, Lopetegui versus Mr. Good Evening. Where's it at? Who's home?
It
Villa
is
Park,
at Aston Villa, Villa Park.
1-0 Villa.
I'm going to go with 2-1 Aston Villa. What about you, RJ?
Same, 2-1 to Villains.
All right, let's go back to you, Roscoe. Crystal Palace hosting Tottenham Hotspur. It's a London derby. Patrick Vieira won't want to drop points here. You want 3,
they bounced back. They did. They played well the other day. Scored a couple nice goals from set pieces. Really well worked. Tough one, man. This is tough, I've got to say. Is it at Selhurst Park, did you say, Scott?
Yep,
it is.
Yeah, you know what, man? I could see this one. I could see Palace winning this one. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I'm going to go Palace 2-1 here.
What about you, Scotty?
I'm 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 in this one.
Oh, God, I'd love them to drop more points. Another team I'd love to drop some points. The last game for this Premier League round, I think, Chelsea, Manchester City. RJ.
Who do you want to drop points? Surely you want City to drop points, right?
I hate both of you. I'm hoping you both drop points.
I see you're going for the draw. Yeah, look, being honest, it's really difficult to see how we win this game, but Everton have given us some hope that even in the darkest hours you could get a result. It's tough, man. My head says City will win this. I think we'll make it difficult for them. But my heart's going draw. I'm not even going to back us for a win. We're just not there yet. So I think this will be 1-1 for me, in my opinion.
I'm going 2-1 Manchester City.
It's at the bridge, yeah?
Yes, I believe so.
That doesn't mean much these days, Rob.
Oh, I know.
used to mean something.
Look, again, for me, best if both drop points, obviously. But hard one, man. I think City won't be happy with dropping points. And if they drop points again after if Arsenal get a result, that's really going to be the fire under their belly. I think they just edged this 2-1 maybe.
All right. Well, there you have it, our quickfire predictions for this Premier League round, boys. Before we wrap this one up, have you heard any transfer rumours that you want to share at the moment? It's been a little bit quiet for my liking. More Mudryk rumours for Arsenal. Arsenal fans doing what they do best. Apparently, they reckon he's in London. Again, if 60, 70 million is not enough, I don't want him. And this ties in with what we're talking about on Wednesday night. We'll come to that at the end. Mudryk, Felix, which we talked about a little bit earlier. But besides that, not much happening in Arsenal world. What about you, RJ? Heard any rumours, mate?
Oh, just the Batty Shield deal. Like that's another young player we're aiming for, of
Centre
course.
back, right?
But yeah, well, for us, it's more about the Fernandes thing being the mega money deal.
Yep.
We've signed a couple of attacking based players, again, underwhelming in terms of their stature. Lots of names, man, but in terms of traction, not much other than the Fernandes one that's really heating up at this stage. So watch this space.
Beautiful. Robbie, got anything for us, mate?
Yeah, look, I think Aston, you guys are in on Felix, even though I definitely don't think it's going to happen. I think Depay could, make a little bit more noise closer to deadline day. Elanga, I've heard, could be Everton could be interested in loaning Elanga off us, and obviously just in the last couple of days with Newcastle's called back the Bravka, which is not a real loss. 2 appearances for us. I wasn't happy with him either, so no skin off my nose there.
There we go. Got the United Pubcast in the chat. I think that may be Larry because Tom's here. Good evening. Make sure you check them out as well. We got Tom saying Man United distancing themselves from signings more and more. Ten Hag soon finding out the challenges. That's right. Well, look, you guys have told me about your owners. You guys know what they're like. But I feel like they've got to back this guy. They've got to back Ten Hag because he's doing a great job at the moment. And it burns me to say it. I hate it. But they're all of the transfer updates for now. Wednesday evening, keep an eye on the channel because we will be bringing you a short pre-recorded debate on a banging topic. It'll be the Wednesday chat. We'll be talking about overpriced, generational, having a look at the footballing world's most talked about youngsters. For me, quite frankly, a bit of a spoiler, overpriced, overrated. A lot of these guys couldn't hold a candle to the legends of the past. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at some of these youngsters, look at some of their supposed transfer values, and go from there. Boys, you're looking forward to this one, right?
Yeah, mate, something different, boys. Looking forward to it. Should be a good chat.
And back to youth, Scott. Back to youth, mate.
Nah, mate, the youth are too entitled. So that'll be Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. on the channel. And then we will have another video out Thursday evening on the channel talking about the FA Cup. Do you love it? Is it a waste of time? Shall we scrap it all together? And some quick fire predictions as well. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. But we've got a couple more things that we need to prepare. Any final words from you, RJ?
No final words, boys. Happy to be here.
No A-League rounds up, mate. I sat with you for the whole game. It was painful enough. I'm not rounding anything up. I'm done. Robbie?
Yeah, look, boys, that's it. We wrap that up. And let's hope United keep the ball rolling. Let's go, boys.
A great use of your final words, holding up 4 fingers at me. Thank you, mate. Take care. Leave a like on the video. Make sure you comment. Let us know about that relegation battle. Let us know about any results that stood out for you. Take care. Enjoy your football. Look after yourselves.
Ciao.